ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Ready whenever.
I think we've been ready.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with introduction. Rebecca, would you
Sure.
introduce yourself first?
Yes, my name is Rebecca Lee.
Just everything.
Yes.
When you do at Himedi and just personal life, something
Okay,
like that.
I'm head of product here at Himedi. I think I'm reaching the second year. 2 years now.
Hi, I'm Gabe Garcia. I'm coming on a year full-time with Himedi now, working on brand strategy and web design, and it's my first job out of college, so I've been thrown into the startup world, and it's been very exciting. I did not expect anything like it when I was thinking of what my first job out of college would be like, so it's been very adventurous and exciting to work with Himedi for the last year and a half.
I think I think they want to know where you live and then why you are here.
Sure. Oh, yeah, because we're in
this
Korea.
is Seoul. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I started working with Will based in New York, and then I got married, so I moved up north. I'm in Massachusetts now, but fortunately, we've all been able to work fully remote for now, and then this is our first time having the U.S. team in Korea for this week. And so I think I was telling you, I just got over my jet lag now, and we're leaving in like a couple days.
Yeah, and I'm coming from New York, but honestly kind of have experience from all over the U.S. I was living in primarily the Northeast for the last 10 years, doing school in New Jersey and Philadelphia, now based out of New York. So bringing that experience, and then also my family is from the West Coast in LA, so a little of all over, and I'm from London as well for 10 years. So a little global experience, but all Western, and the Korea and all of Korea has been very new to me. I've only visited once 9 years ago, so it's basically my first time here.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great if you introduce the whole US team. So, and Himedi has US business and Mongolia business and Middle Eastern, and US business is the largest, and we have more people in the team, right? So would you explain more about our US team?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit. So our U.S. team is honestly, it's a tight-knit team right now of 3, 4, including Jakob, really, and 5, I guess, Yevid as well, new.
Yeah.
But the U.S. team has basically been around for just over 2 years now, or just under 2 years. Started in June of 24.
2 years.
Has it been when Will started with you?
William officially joined May in 2024.
Oh, yeah, and then I joined like 3-4 months, right?
Yeah,
Right after that.
I met him like early 2024, but he officially joined May. So it's like 1 year and 10 months.
I was going to say we forgot Jen. Like
And
Jen
Jen
is
as
a
well.
pivotal part of our
Very-
team.
yeah,
like
very-
she introduced us,
Yeah.
Gabe as well, and then now we're like a tight family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, I could talk a little bit, I guess, about, and Rebecca too, about the dynamic of kind of the U.S. team and how it works. So we're all remote. None of us really go into an office together frequently. Occasionally we'll meet in person once a month, maybe every 2 months
Yes.
or so. And so most of our communications is done over video calls, emails, and we're very autonomous. Everyone kind of manages their own tasks and their own to-do lists, and we get what we need to do done kind of on our own time. But I think the benefit of the U.S. team is that everyone kind of brings a unique experience and kind of background and their own perspective to kind of the Korean health wave and this problem that we're trying to bridge with getting Americans kind of more knowledgeable and interested in about the possibilities of Korean health technology. And
Yeah, to add on to what you said, like in the beginning, we did a lot of the like email concierge, and we recently expanded to like offering video calls. So Will and I have been doing more of the customer facing calls. And every time I get on a call, people think that we're based in Korea. And then they're like, your English is so good. I'm like, I know, because I'm from here. And I'm like, I'm from the US. And then So they try to explain to me their own experience of like dealing with healthcare in the US. So it's like I have great insurance and I'm willing to pay more and I can afford to like do other services beyond the annual checkup or like blood testing. But sometimes I need more referrals to add on multiple different tests. And then they're trying to explain it to me as if I've never dealt with it myself. And then after
Right.
their whole explanation, I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So this Korea business trip was very meaningful to me, very important. I tried to, I prepared a lot. I tried my best to give you the best experience. So Yevit and Jacob, they are from Denmark and Paraguay, but still they are Korean residentials. They are living here, so they know easier to go to our partners and see our customers. And William, before he joined Himedi, one of the moment he wanted to do this business is when he went to KMI checkup in Gwangju. He realized this is should be in the United States. So, and then he talked to one of our investors, Eddie Lee in New York, and then we got together and started this one. So, but you were living in the you are living in the United States, and it's been a while you came back to South Korea, right? So, um, so let's start with how you planned the trip. So you knew you will have many medical services, including medical checkup in Korea. So did it make you plan differently? And
Well, I mean, for you, it's been 9 years and it's been 6 years for me. So it has been a while for us. And neither of us have gotten like a full body health screening like the ones offered here in Korea. I think mainly for us, it started out because it's a work related and we were so excited to meet the rest of the team that's based here. But obviously the priority was the health checkup. And then Donggyo like emailed each of us separately about like our specific asks and any concerns. Mainly it's like women's health and fertility related. And I've always dealt with PCOS since I was in like middle school. And I get a lot of women who ask me on email and calls about, oh, I've had this medical history of PCOS. And it's very commonly diagnosed, but there's so many different symptoms. And so because usually it's like pre-diabetic symptoms and you can gain a lot of weight or you like have a lot of facial hair, but I don't have any of that. And so I've always dealt with it by taking birth control pills. And in the US, doctors will immediately just give you birth control pills and that's it. It's like, oh, we'll just regulate your period and because you have PCOS and that's it. But I think my mother and my grandmother, it's like been in our generation and they had no problems having kids. But with that in mind, I asked Donggyo, I was like, if we're going to do a health checkup, I might as well do like fertility and reproductive health. And so we did it's called the women's specialization package. How about you?
Yeah, so I did my checkup. So I'll preface, I'm only 24, so relatively young. And I'll say for Americans, that's really, health checkups are not a really concern in your 20s unless something is actively wrong with you or you believe something is actively wrong with you. So I've only had one checkup in like my adult life, and it was essentially just a blood test. And they, gave me some decent insight, but I essentially was only told my cholesterol was slightly elevated and I could do some more cardio. So I was coming into this with almost no knowledge of my own health or kind of what to expect in a checkup. And I've obviously, been working with Himedi for a year, so I've seen our videos and photos of the facilities, but to go and experience it firsthand was a very eye-opening experience. And so I went to Hanshin Medipia, which is our most popular checkup center with Americans and our international patients. And I just did our standard baseline checkup just to get a feel and see what the experience was like. And I was very surprised just by the overall efficiency of everything and how easy it was to navigate as a non-native Korean. I don't speak any Korean. I'm all English, and I didn't need an interpreter, didn't need any assistance or anyone to take me around the facility. So I was really impressed overall by just how accommodating they were to an international patient. And overall, just how fast everything felt and how quick and clean the facility was. Because coming from America, my idea of a hospital or a doctor's checkup is, it's kind of been the same my whole life from when I was 4 to now. You go, you sit in a doctor's room, you sit on the chair or the bench, and a nurse will come in, take your blood, take some vitals of you, heart rate, height, weight, and wait a little bit, and the doctor will come in and you'll speak for 10 minutes as they go over the results of everything. But it's very, very basic, and they are essentially just checking to make sure that nothing is immediately wrong with you at the moment. There's almost no preventative perspective from the doctor. So, I haven't yet received my results yet from Hanshin because we did it this week on Monday, and it's only Friday. So hopefully I get back all good results. But I think it's mainly a peace of mind thing. Americans maybe don't value, I think, that preventative approach as heavily because it's not so much a concern for them. Or I think we've been conditioned that you believe if you don't feel anything's wrong, you're perfectly okay. And I think that's just not necessarily the most accurate mindset to be having, especially with what's available these days. And Korea makes it very apparent that there is a lot more, I think, that you can do, or a lot more advancement in medical technology. And it made me realize that America has kind of an older mindset way of doing kind of healthcare and health checkups.
I have a question about your experience because we've been sending our customers to Hanshin Medipia and they like it. It's like it's been a successful experience for everyone, but I don't know. Like I haven't gotten you went. Did they give you the RFID
Yeah,
bracelet?
so you get a bracelet that connects. Yeah, the first thing you do is you walk in, you meet the receptionist, and they give you the bracelet so you can go to the locker room and change into your medical gown and leave all your belongings in the locker. And then from there, it's they start doing the tests right away. They start off with a basic body measurement. So your height, weight. They'll do the in-body body composition, which is it's a little it's funny as an American. I had to stand on it, and you kind of watch your body fat percentage go up, and it's a little embarrassing maybe, but
Isn't it funny they have like classical music playing while they're scanning you?
Well, so it's a very calming environment. It feels very spa-like almost, which is I think not something anyone coming from like a Western medical experience would anticipate. I think hospitals kind of give a cold environment or a cold feeling because they're very sterile, very professional. Tend to be a little bit dated in the building. And so to kind of come to a facility that feels more modern and kind of built for, the 21st century, it feels very nice and kind of reassuring, actually.
Did you have a screen that would like ping your number or your name?
Yes. So when you scan at each station, there's basically there's all these rooms, and above each room is a sign in Korean and English says what the tests is being done in that room. And when you go scan, there's a screen right next to the door, and it just shows the list of names who have checked in. It's usually only 3 or 4 people at a time waiting. And the tests only take about 5 minutes each, and so they go quite quickly. But once you scan in, there's benches all over, and you can sit down and wait essentially for your name to call, and they'll come up and announce your name when it's your turn. So it's, I never waited for more than, I think, 10 minutes for any one test or any one doctor.
So I think Gabe ended up waiting for me a little bit longer because we went on a Monday morning and they told me there that Mondays are always the busiest. And we book everybody in the morning so that you don't have to fast too long either. And then you get it out of the way and our customers can like enjoy the rest of the day afterwards, which we did as well. But when I got there, it was so crowded.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like all the ladies are there. They're couples, lots of pregnant ladies.
Which month, like December or March, do you get the checkup? The experience is a bit different. And the starting time. If the starting time is 7 a.m., like compared to our customer starts at noon, it's so much different. So coming back to my question, many Americans, they feel still most of Americans never had checkup in Korea, right? And many of our customers feel difficult to choose the right package. And from my perspective, so personally, I was your concierge, you and
Right.
William, and then you guys are represent so different customer segment for me. So the conversation between you and I is I try to choose more customized one. Cha Gangnam is not like officially it's not a checkup center,
Right.
and you have your symptoms or when you know what you want to do, and you are probably your age and William's age is our main. I mean, most of our customers are in 30s and in 40s.
Yes.
So, but William know exactly what he wants to do, always. And then our customer, some of our customer, they know what they want, and whole body MRI checkups, Americans are more familiar with it, not Koreans. It's very new concept here, so we help them to discover what they want, even if it's not. Even if it's very new to Korea, right? And Gabe, the the easiest,
It was
very easy. Many of our customers is what's different from Koreans. So those Koreans who get the checkup most is in 40s, not in 30s. It's rare. I mean, the late 30s they start getting checkups. Late 30s and 40s they are the main, and then 50s and 60s. But our customers are much younger than Koreans. So there are 20s among our customers, and 30s quite many are 30s, and 40s are the majority, and then 50s and 60s it's hard to see. It's more rare compared to South Koreans. So, and Gabe, so how? I mean, you plan differently. I mean, I think you plan the same way when you travel. Is that right?
Yeah, so I mean, I was very open-minded to basically
Yeah.
trying any and all of our services. I think I wanted
Yeah.
to just kind of get the full scope of everything that we offer so that I can better understand the U.S. business and how we present ourselves to the American customers. And for me, I definitely wanted to do a checkup, obviously, but then also just kind of see the full width of what it's like to, go do multiple services in a day. Like, what is it to go on a medical or medical tourism vacation, essentially? And it's, been very insightful. I don't feel like I'm kind of missing out on doing other things in Seoul because I'm doing my like checkups or I'm going to these clinics because of how nice the interiors are. Right? It feels like I'm still, on this like vacation. I'm going to these luxury centers, and Hanshin, I'm doing the most basic package, but it still feels very high touch, and everyone is making sure it's efficient and a clean process, and it just doesn't feel anything like I'm doing medical services because of it. Yeah.
But still, let's help our future customers plan or choose the right package. Help them and then give them advice. So let's go back to 3 weeks ago or 1 month ago. And then how would you want to do differently? Or how would you ask me to differently? Yeah.
I mean, I think for me personally, I would honestly, when I was coming here, I think I was hesitant to do certain services. So maybe I was saying, oh, I'll just try a checkup. I'll just try these things. But I wanted to kind of just do the most like basic level, just to get the basic idea and feel of it. But I think now that I've kind of done 5 or 6 things here, I realize it's so easy, and like, you're only here on vacation or you're only here maybe once a year. And I really almost say if I could go back a month, I would ask to do more.
I mean, I see, most of our customers, for them, this is first time. And then we see they have concerns and fear because if you don't know something, you can be concerned about it, right? But once it starts, it's not that it's not a victory, right?
No, it's
No.
not. And so that was my thing.
Yeah.
I think I worried about, I don't want to spend too much time recovering if I'm going to do, like, for example, I went to go do dermatology yesterday. And I think if you had asked me a month ago, oh, when you go to the dermatologist, would you do any like minor invasive procedure? I think I would have said no. I think I would have primarily said, oh, I just want a deep cleaning, maybe something like that. But I tried the micro needling for the first time yesterday, which really, really surprised me. But I
It's like
think
the vampire facial.
it was,
with
but it was,
the blood.
I enjoyed it ultimately in the end. I felt like it was worth doing it because I'm here. And I know that's not something I can easily access in the States. Or feel, I think, as confident as I was. It was a very soothing and clean experience kind of going to that. And to relate it back to the checkup as well, like I think I was okay doing the baseline checkup because I just didn't want to do anything so invasive. Or it's not that even doing higher levels of a checkup is more invasive, but just more tests. I think I was trying to just see the most basic image or snapshot of myself. But I mean, now that I've kind of done all of it, I wouldn't mind doing kind of a higher tier checkup, especially as my first one. I'm interested to see my results. I want to kind of know what my current picture of health is. I don't really have any frame of reference for what to expect or like what I should be expecting for myself, I should say.
Yeah.
So I think my take from this is I want to know more. I think if I were to come back and do it again, I would want to know as much as I could.
One quick following question. So who do you recommend the baseline package? So from my perspective, so I'm not an American, obviously. From my perspective, those who are hesitant to do it, but baseline is really low hurdle. I mean, the best entry one. And then once you go through the baseline, I mean, now starting, I can do more.
So, I mean, you're exactly right. And I think that's what you knew when you were booking me the baseline is I think you could sense I was maybe a little hesitant to kind of do the whole experience and not want to do any extra tests or anything. But yeah, I think the baseline is exactly for someone like me who is not familiar with Korean or the Korean culture of checkups and their first time feels like first time visiting. And they just want to essentially get comfortable with the system. And I think if you're planning on doing these more regularly, and you're, in your early 30s, and I think I'm doing it even quite young for at 24 for a baseline, but I see the baseline as kind of a necessary step almost for Americans who are gonna
Body
want to
composition, blood tests, they are very important thing again. And I just talked about the obesity rate in the United States with William because we compare it to Middle Eastern. So when we went to Gangnam JS, they are specialized in knee repair. So we talked about why Americans have many knee problems, and Middle Eastern people they have problems with knee. And the same something in common is the high obesity rate. If you look into the ranking, in all the country, U.S. and the Middle Eastern countries are on the top. So blood test and body composition is so for anyone from my perspective, even my kids regularly check their height, weight, and blood test, and then in Korea you can predict how, if my kid is grown up, how tall he is, we can predict it. Yeah, and then I know, of course, you can do it in the States. So, and then the basic one is blood tests. Yeah.
Yeah, well, something I want to say about the body composition, which was very interesting for me, because in the U.S. there's no body composition. That's not what they do. The standard is it's BMI, body mass index, which is for the longest time I thought was kind of the tell-all for okay, how in shape are you? Kind of what's your body fat? Are you balanced? And I in the last couple of years have realized that's not actually the case. You can be someone who's quite fit, But if you have a lot of extra skeletal muscle mass, your BMI can still be raised and elevated, even though
Right.
you're not necessarily unhealthy. And it's not like that's always going to be the case, but the thing is, BMI is not as insightful, I think, as most people believe it to be. And so
Yeah.
something like a body composition is a lot more accurate and telling of your actual health and how you're
Right.
doing.
Yeah. It's always very helpful to me too. Yeah. And you should spend more time with Rebecca. We know there are many of our customers are planning to get married and have babies, and how they can prepare better. I mean, how they can choose the right package, the right center. I mean, how would you do differently?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So my experience, it did take me some time to finally meet with the doctor for the intake because they were so busy. But as soon as I did, everything else was so smooth. And the interpreter, their in-house interpreter, she was really nice. And she's shy, but I can understand Korean and speak English. So I was like, is this what the doctor said? She's like, yeah. Wait, let's move on to the next room. And then, so overall, everything moved swiftly. And then I was catching up with my husband, and I told him how my checkup went. And I said, do you think it was like enough? I felt like it went by so quickly, even though the initial wait was long. And he was like, you did all of that in one sitting, like in one appointment? I was like, yeah. He goes, what? I don't even know why you're saying like if it was like not enough for you, because I got a mammogram, I got an X-ray, I got an ultrasound, and then obviously the blood tests. And within my intake with the doctor, she was asking if I plan to get pregnant or if I'm interested in the near future, and then showed me like a chart of what she's going to screen for within my blood tests. And so I think I'm getting my results in like a week, and they're going to email it to me and probably do like a video consultation to review with the doctor if that's available. If I were to do this again, though, I was thinking about your question, I would ideally do more of like a baseline or expanded, like a lower tier preliminary checkup, and then add on a bunch of other things. Because I'm not old enough to do like our intensive or comprehensive,
Right.
because it's definitely for like a mature customer.
Allergy test. You're interested?
Oh yeah, I wanted to do, because allergy tests in the States, like you have to pay for every like prick or like every
I don't know,
blood test.
I didn't expect it's so popular
It's really popular.
among our
Yeah.
customers. Yeah.
People really like getting allergy tests, I think, in the States. Oh, they're quite common because a lot of people have minor allergies, but they're not quite sure to what
Yeah.
specifically. And it might just be, people think it can be more than it actually is. So, I was also curious. I would be curious kind of to do like more of a diet allergy kind of test.
Oh yeah. So I mean, we were gonna mention that later.
Next time
but
you
there's-
should add it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Is there one at Hanshin too for like food? Well, actually, the allergy test includes a bunch of food and
Food
like environmental
and inhaling. So maybe 먼지, dust, or
Dust,
something. Inhaling and food. That's the main.
mold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember talking to a doctor in the States a few years ago. I was like, sometimes I have like skin flare-ups and I don't know what it's from. Is it food? Is it environmental? And they go, well, then try the elimination diet. Like, what? Hey, how long is that going to take me? Like, I have to stop eating everything and then bring in different ingredients and then write that down. But some days I might have eaten something else that would then cause a reaction for a different ingredient. So I can't say it was because I had milk, or I can't say it was because of walnuts. And so having that blood marker, the allergy test is a blood test, right? I think it,
Right.
yeah.
So just adding panels to blood test. That's enough. And there are many Americans, so especially Korean Americans who are planning to get married or having babies. So I have done this business for years. So from my perspective, there are two challenges for those who are interested in having like fertility checkup
Mm-hmm.
and having babies or IVF, doing IVF. So first one is health checkup center, vice versa, outpatient service. So for uh, for Americans, why our number of customers are growing fast, right? Why they feel easier to go to checkup center? It's they don't need a doctor's referral or prescription. You can choose what you want. But in the checkup center, so 그 정액 검사, sperm
Sperm
analysis.
analysis.
Yeah, there is no sperm analysis in any checkup center. But
Oh, only at like
so
Cha Hospital?
um so so if you provide sperm analysis, you need to have proper facility. You need to give some privacy to the men. I mean those patients. And if you want to test the fertility, I mean the sperm analysis is the key exam for men, male patients. And so, but if you go to outpatient clinic, and you have to get the consultation if you need once you come back to the United States. And if you want to get post consultation, you need to pay additionally. Yeah. So, last first half of last year, we introduced the women's checkup, but the process went a bit difficult. The customers keep asking for sperm analysis and
Oh.
why they should pay more for the second visit, and then publish the medical record. So we just stopped it, right? So you remember?
Yeah, it was more like a couples checkup.
But still, there is a women's checkup at Hanshin or KMI or any major checkup center. So I mean, the second one, I mean, the challenge we face in terms of like making as a business. I mean, so 그 뭐라 그래야 되지? As time goes by, the medical service, the couples and the married people need to get change. So initially they start with pre-marriage checkup,
Oh,
and
I see.
then
Like different
fertility.
tiers.
And if they feel difficult to have babies, IVF, and 그 산후조리원.
Like
Yeah.
postpartum care
Yeah.
center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but our customers are in the United States. So,
I know we were talking about this before the checkup or right after Gangnam Cha, and Korea is like known for their like postpartum care centers, and they really prioritize the moms after they give birth, and they're like fed, like spoon fed, and the doulas will come and like take care of you and like give you a massage, and then they'll give you time to sleep, and they'll take your baby for a little bit out of the room, and then obviously bring the kid back in and like help you to connect. But then I was telling you guys in the States, I was like, you know what? I might just give birth and have my Zoom call with you guys and then go home, take my baby and go. And it's just, like get in and get out. And I wish there were more offerings like that in the States, but I think you have to do it yourself. You have to be more
Right.
proactive to set up an environment where you can recover properly.
so when we provide concierge, some customers do not want to make too many choices. Just they want to delegate almost everything to us. But there are the full cycle from marriage to having babies and post what?
Postpartum?
Postpartum.
Yes.
So if there are great partners who can cover the whole cycle and then without friction. I mean, maybe more Americans can choose South Korea as a destination. That's what
I
I
feel
saw.
like that's something that I'd love to talk to someone to learn more about, is like how that would even work. Because, if let's say I'm well aware of postpartum care and I want to keep going to the same doctor that I met in Korea, but then I'm pregnant, like I'm a few months in, I won't be able to fly, then do I have to be in Korea for like a year just to prepare myself and see my doctor regularly?
Yeah, basically, the couples face too many question and decision point. Yeah, but there are so many people want to better customer experience in this cycle. So, by the way, we are keep exploring the opportunity and which service is better. So maybe Rebecca is a good.
I might
case
be a
study.
good like candidate guinea pig for this whole
Just to see how it goes.
So that's
in a
why
year.
the first baby
uh,
born through Himedi services.
That's why we sent David and Jacob to study more. IVF or having
Conference, yeah.
babies, like something like that. Yeah. Okay. So, so we talked about Gangnam Charge Health Checkup and Hanshinju Checkup, and some of Americans are like 20%. So, especially those who experience the Korean checkup for the first time, some people got disappointed. Even if they think in terms of cost per value per cost is great. Hanshin, for example, great. KMI is great. Gangnam-cha is great. But as you said, you can see so many patients. Yeah. And then some people, so customer have different priority, but some people have a higher priority for privacy. So that's something different from Koreans or Japanese or other Asians. Yeah.
I mean, even if you can afford like the most premium checkup, you're okay if you see like a long line. I mean, if the
That's a
lobby
great
area
question.
is beautiful.
So you have been to Chaum. So think about those who go to those Koreans who use Chaum is probably 0.01% high class versus people in Korea.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the thing we kind of felt about like those nicer checkup centers like Chom is that, like I said, it's almost closer to the American understanding of what a checkup should be in the sense that the patient stays in the room and the doctor comes to them. I think that might be the biggest concern or culture change for Americans trying to do the more standard Korean checkup, which is you go to each station yourself and you're kind of moving around and you're moving through the hospital with other patients as well. And so for me, that wasn't a major issue or a concern. I didn't mind not having as much privacy throughout that process. And, the trade-off is, I think, a little bit of efficiency for that. It was definitely felt like I was going a lot faster because the system was set up that way. And with Chom, I think they, and with other VIP kind of hospital services where you or the patient stays in a single room and kind of the doctors and the equipment comes to them, I think they understand that the trade-off there is that they're willing to pay more for that privacy and that kind of luxury experience, even at the cost of, maybe a longer checkup, because it makes them more comfortable and it feels kind of more what they're used to coming from like a Western medical system. And so I think it's just depends entirely on the customer and kind of what they really value about, or what they value about getting out of their entire experience.
Yeah. So you guys are like the bridge between American culture and South Korean culture. And do you remember when we came back from Bumin Checkup Center and then the subway, the distance between other people?
Oh,
So
yes.
you said, do you remember when you said, I exactly remember when you said, and how Americans and not just Korean, but like Koreans, Taiwanese, Japanese are similar. From my perspective, more similar to each other in terms of privacy and how they look, how they view the time efficiency. So for Koreans, I think time efficiency is 빨리빨리. It's just base default. But some people, our customer feels, oh, they just push me or rushed, right?
Yes.
So I think, if you can elaborate on this topic for our audience, it might help them to accept time
Right.
efficiency
Understand the culture.
and the distance.
Right.
Yeah, it's just can
Oh
you
yeah, I have like a few points. I remember when I first, well, not first, but like when I actually was aware of my surroundings and I could interact with like strangers was like middle school when I visited Korea with my family. And I think we were waiting in line or trying to cross the street, and like the older ladies would just kind of like nudge me as they're walking by. They just wanted to walk in front of me. And I remember being like, oh, Oma, everyone's so rude here. She's like, no, that's the culture. It's okay. Like, you're allowed to kind of like nudge each other. And I mean, everyone stands in line, obviously. It's not like there's a crowd and you're trying to like push through. But even on the subway, when we were going back to, I don't remember where we were going back, like COEX area
COEX.
from
짜장면.
Bumin. Yeah, jjajangmyeon.
You're on your way to 짜장면.
On the way.
On the
Hadn't
way.
eaten
And it was rush hour, and we
Yeah.
were going through. I think it was like you said. It was that specific line is
Line
like going
two,
through
through
two
Gangnam
universities,
Station
like the
too.
best schools.
And
So it's Yonsei and
from
Seoul.
Gangnam Station to Samsung COEX, there are, most densely concentrated the business. Yeah. So
Oh,
that's why
okay.
you see so many people and students as well.
So I remember people kept shoving into the train, and then I was like, because Dongyu was standing in front of me, he goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just want to say, like even in New York during rush hour, even if it gets packed, everyone has their personal space. Like don't even come, within like the 2 inch.
Even if it's packed, I was
Yeah.
surprised. Even if it's packed, how come you create this distance?
It's, I think...
you have to have it.
Yeah, it's definitely a culture thing, I think, in the U.S. where there is kind of this, everyone believes in personal space and kind of that, 5-inch bubble around you, your airspace, don't touch me. And I think it's also a thing of like people don't want to create problems. And in the
Yeah.
U.S., I think you expect problems if you're, bumping and like rubbing shoulders with other people. But I think Korea is just understood that's what happens. And I think the other thing is it will depend heavily on like how you like where you're coming from. So Rebecca and I, both having lived in New York, have experience with the subway. I lived in London for a while, so very similar with the subway there, or familiar, sorry, with the subway there. And
And do you distance, like give each other
so
some
yeah,
space?
in London, it definitely will get packed at times, and you will be, especially if you're going during rush hour on the popular lines, it will fill up, and people are, you're gonna get crammed in there, but it's something that I think if you're used to it and familiar with it, it's not that big of a deal. But I could easily see how, someone visiting from a more, if they're coming from a suburb in America or just a city that doesn't have a lot of public transport like trains or subways, they can be a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, I think I had one girl behind me. Her phone was on my shoulder,
Yeah.
and she was just like,
That's
scrolling.
happening.
And then Will said,
you can share the screen. Koreans in the subway, you can
You
share the
watch
screen
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other so easily.
I was watching someone. I was watching someone
It's
screen on the
interesting
subway.
sometimes,
Yeah.
the news and
Oh,
comics, papers.
you're looking over their shoulder and watching.
Time goes fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Will said one time, I think this was like a year ago, he said, one time it was so packed, all he had to do was lift both his feet and
they
he was
carried
able
him
to
out.
get off of the car.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's and you as well. I think moving from New York to Amherst, and you kind of understand there's like a very different pace of life, kind of in different parts of the U.S. And
Yeah.
I've lived in suburbs and I've lived in cities, and I think it just depends on kind of your upbringing and your experience, kind of with cities. And Seoul, I've noticed, is definitely, you say, pali pali is the term they
Yeah.
kind of use here. So my cousin had explained that to me the other night, and then it makes a lot of sense. It's, kind of like New York as well, very much. Everyone is, no one has time for niceties. Everyone's doing their business and they're going about their lives. But, I could imagine if someone's coming from a different part of the country, even just LA. So my mom's from LA and my grandparents live there. So I spent a lot of time in LA. And even though it's a city, it's definitely still like more laid back and people kind of don't really move with that urgency as often, or it's not as restless, I'll say, as maybe New York. And so I can see that if you're coming to Seoul and that's kind of your experience, you might be a little bit uncomfortable, especially, I mean, relating back to the health checkup system of, I didn't mind having my checkup go very quickly and feeling like I didn't feel rushed. I felt like it was moving efficiently, but I could easily see how someone else who has different life experiences feels more so that they're being rushed or not taken care of as well. But I think it's all a perspective thing of what you value personally. And so for me, I didn't want to spend extra time at the hospital. I wanted to get about my day. We had things to do in the afternoon, and so I wanted to make sure I could eat lunch and go do the rest of my things. But if you're on vacation and you have a lot of that leisure time, you don't mind a checkup taking 3-4 maybe hours, but it's because they're going to treat you more personably. It all depends on, I think, what the customer thinks when they think about their life and their experiences, and what experience or what hospital experience would make them the most comfortable. I think that's a very important question for them to answer for themselves.
Important.
And we're more than happy to obviously accommodate whatever that answer is.
Oh, I want to say Korea's, always been foreigner friendly, but I really feel it now. Like 6 years ago, I was telling my friends, like, oh, I think you can see a lot more expats and like foreigners in like Itaewon or like certain hubs where there was more diversity. But now it's like anywhere you go. I even went to see my imo like just right outside of Seoul, and I was seeing like other international students, like foreigners that were not Korean. And so I thought that was really nice to see how globalized like Seoul especially has become. And also with like the whole bumping and like pali stuff, like don't take it personally, because that's just the culture. So I think I've had one customer who called and asked, I think she was based in like California or something. It's like, do you have any suggestions on how like the proper etiquette, like culture etiquette? Do you tip? How do you, what are the honorifics? I'm like, oh, I just know this automatically. But some people they have no idea. So hopefully this will help. Hopefully,
Well, it's interesting
don't
you say
take it
that.
personally.
Well, because I felt like it wasn't I'm half Korean, but I don't look very Korean. I don't think anyone or sees me necessarily as Korean walking around. So especially at the checkup, typically they can kind of tell when you're an American. I mean, there's, way you dress maybe, or something I was informed of is most Korean men tend to be clean shaven or lasered hair off. So having any bit of stubble immediately marks you as a potential foreigner. So I felt like most people could tell kind of when I was a foreigner immediately, and not in a bad way. I think it just made them more understanding and kind of accommodating to me and willing to, explain more slowly and take more care with me. So I really appreciated that, honestly, all things considered. I did not feel at all like I was in the wrong being a foreigner anywhere. I had to, watch over myself, and I felt very natural and kind of comfortable being in Korea this whole trip, honestly. I mean, it feels very easy to navigate and kind of go around the city as someone who only knows English. I do not feel limited in any way, really.
I believe you remember what I told you. So you guys first met Seoul team members, Yeojin, Dongwoo, Gail, Moonjin. You know what I worried? You need the distance, I guess. Personal distance, your space. So each one have each like studio at work code, for example. But you will try to hug them.
Yeah.
And they will be very shy. It's not bad because they are Koreans, and when you see a person for the first time, they try to be polite
Yeah.
and don't want to make mistakes. But you guys can hug in the first meeting. So I really wanted to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But it went very
It went
smooth.
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, in the cab, you're like, Rebecca, don't be disappointed if they don't give you a hug or like don't give you a hug back. I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to hug them anyways.
Yeah, I
Well,
think it is.
yeah.
I think it is a little bit of we maybe set the tone. I think
Yeah,
sort
I
of
think
it's,
so.
and I think Americans typically do kind of like to have that more casual kind of break the formalities down a little bit. At least that's how I feel, especially like meeting kind of the team members and just talking to people in Korea. I'm not trying to be necessarily super formal all the time. I think everyone's like I said, because they know I'm a foreigner, I think they're expecting me to maybe be a little bit more casual and lax in my tone and my cadence and what I speak. So, but it's never any judgment for it. In fact, I think they
Right.
find it endearing a little bit.
So, so I mean, cultural difference exists. So I thought, while doing our business, I thought we have to admit that. Uh, but the but but something Koreans and Americans, both of them like is the hospitality, how we welcome the foreigners or new guests in our place. So sometimes I feel hospitality is more important than language. So, when we found and make partnership with Hanshin or Mediwon, I thought whether they can welcome the international customers. And yes, and Ryan, for example,
Yeah.
he represents the, smiley.
I know. You
Person
asked
for
him, you're like, why do
international
you always
people.
smile? I get that question a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing we have to admit there is a cultural gap. Uh, you know, so initially, what I found initially in 2024, most of America, not everyone, quite many young, especially young Americans, they don't pay for the brand name like Samsung. Samsung is big name in South Korea. It's trust. Samsung is equal to trust. And Seoul National University and Seoul Asan or top ranking, they don't pay for it. They pay for the real value. Most of people. But now we are so many American customers now, Himedi team. So there are some people who are looking for something different. Now we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, so we went to Bumin first, right? Let's talk.
Yes.
Let's start with the Bumin.
Okay.
How did you see Bumin?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Felt very extremely luxury, and I
Yeah.
said Hanshin was very nice. It's a different level. It was
Yeah.
I was I think kind of relating it inside to like a spa almost. It felt like I was going in for like a very calming treatment. All the dark wood and kind of gold brass finishings everywhere. It created a very nice calming sense and environment. Nothing that I would ever expect to see in the U.S. for years even. I just don't think anyone in the U.S. Considers that like a point of importance to kind of make your hospital or medical facility feel like a luxury area. I mean, you walk in and in the waiting room is like a very nice cafe, and the receptionists are all smiling, greeting. It's a very warm welcome, which I would never expect to see in the U.S.
Yeah, it was like a hotel. Just
So
like overall.
Okay, so but I don't want to compare the price point very specifically here because we can make it like very transparent.
Right.
List the price and package, but it's relatively affordable. Why? It's located in Magok. Magok is in Seoul, but in the west side, close to. So there is some advantage because it's closer to airport. But still, it's. I mean, so Americans knows Gangnam,
Yeah.
Hongdae, Myeongdong, so they never heard of Magok. So there is a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny that you mention it as being kind of far away. And I think that is, it's far for, I think, the people who are from Seoul and are used to kind of the efficiency of travel around here. But
Right.
You know, it ended up only taking about an hour. It's an hour trip. There, an hour, back
Yeah,
an
I
hour.
think it
makes
was like
sense.
50 minutes by
50,
car.
Yeah. And
So
so,
about an hour, yeah.
you know, I think about that. A typical travel commute for me in New York is about 45, 50 minutes. You know, I live in Brooklyn, going to see people in Manhattan. I get on the subway, it's 45, 50 minutes sometimes on the subway. And, you know, that just feels very standard, honestly. So I think, you know, if you're comparing to, yes, the centers that are in Gangnam and in the center of Seoul are very accessible, lots to do around. But I think if you're an American coming here, like, I don't think you're going to think of this facility as too far away necessarily, either
That's
by
correct.
cab or by subway. Everything in Seoul feels very accessible. And
Yeah.
truth be told,
Yeah.
it's a very easy city to navigate, despite how large it is.
Right. That totally makes sense. So when I was at the business school in the United States, wherever I go, at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's middle of somewhere.
Yes.
But I mean, the Americans accept it very like naturally. I mean, it's given, right? But you know, everything is happening in Seoul for Koreans, and you walk in Gangnam and meet people in Gangnam, and then take subway line 2 and like 3 or 4 stations away, and then see their family. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. No, I mean, and like I said, coming from both like having lived in cities and lived in, you know, suburbs and, you know, especially when you live in a suburb or outside of a city, 30-minute drive, that's like short. That'd be, thank God,
neighborhood
40-minute
is
drive.
like
Yeah.
I know.
And
To go to
everyone
your friend's
drives
place.
everywhere.
500 meters away.
Yeah.
The next house. I went to Virginia once for like NBA rugby competition.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Once
think you told
I
me.
was so surprised. There is no neighborhood basically.
It's all the lawns and all the gardens. It takes up a lot of space. But yeah, that's very, I think it's expected of Americans that, you know, to do things, especially to the hospital. I mean, most people going for a doctor checkup, that's like a whole day experience. You know, it's
Yeah.
4 hours is expected at least, if not more. And I think that's why like something like Bumin being only 50 minutes basically outside of city center is not as jarring as I think it might, as you might assume it would be for Americans, because it's just not a concern for them to have to travel, especially for something as important as a medical checkup for them. They would much rather, I think, value the experience over just the slight difference in travel time.
I think if I reflect on the itineraries that we've been building out for our customers when they come to Korea, is like checkup first, and then they'll do like dermatology or like other specialty things all in the same day. But that can still be achieved
So
with
they
Bumin.
do provide, you know, cleaning and whitening and basic nutrient IV and basic stem cell like anti-aging.
Right, they had a
service at one place.
dental
Yeah.
like department at Bumin as well.
And you know, you are head of product at Himedi, and how did you see their technology and you know just one day
Right.
result report? It was amazing.
Results in
right?
one day. And like, you know, AI is everywhere. And like the first thing they said was like,
But
this is, yes.
Everyone talks about AI, but they really use AI.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like literally AI has been integrated
Yeah.
with their,
It's
what
integrated
was
with all
that
their
machine?
software.
It was like their lab where they had like huge machines that analyzed.
There is an in-house diagnostic lab.
Right.
blood
So
tests, yeah.
it was amazing because was it the director, or the head doctor was saying they built that first, and then everything else was built around that to be able to support
Right.
producing same day results. And
You know, that's why I mean, you know, the patients in the afternoon, they are seeing the result and get the consultation, and they choose other wellness medical treatments.
yes, there was like another like spa, more aesthetics focused department too, where they can do like, I guess it's called like in a way aftercare or post medical testing, and then consultation, and then they relax and do like stem cell treatments or cryotherapy. What wasn't there?
Cryotherapy,
Yeah.
they were talking about as well. A lot of recovery care. It
Yes.
seemed like they were fit to help, especially like people doing like a lot of physical
Yeah.
activity and recovery work.
It's similar to charm. So that concept is for like 0.01% of South Koreans. It's very new. But in the United States, I feel like it's more like everyone understands what the concept is. The demand is getting stronger and stronger, and more people just get used to it. The wellness and diagnostic, the combination of it. Yeah. So I believe many Americans or international people will like once they see the inside. Right? Yeah. So I didn't expect it. I mean that to be such great.
Yeah.
Literally. So I thought, I rather go with just William because neighbor recommended me to see.
Oh,
But-
I see.
But I thought it's a good decision to go there together. Yeah, because you are building our service product together. Yeah.
I think for customers who really prioritize privacy, I kept asking you like, are there secret doors? Are there like elevators or are there separate entrances that more like privacy oriented customers can access? Because I asked at Bumin when you were doing the tour, they have a beautiful like public-ish space where there's like changing rooms, and then they have a premium space where it's like a hotel room. They're like three or four.
I think it was a little more like 6 almost, the VIP rooms.
Yeah, that section. And they have a bathroom and shower and like it's like a medical facility, but then it's a hotel room. And then they have this beautiful like break room with amazing artwork. If you want to just go there to see the artwork too,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
But they said for the customers who are visiting in the premium section, if they have to leave their room for like an MRI or CT, they have their own separate like secret hallway that they can access. So they
Yeah.
don't have to go through the public waiting area.
I see it for the first time.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I was very impressed with the Bumin's ability. I think they very clearly had a vision for the tiers of experiences that
Yeah.
they wanted. You know, they do offer the standard, Korean checkup of you get the bracelet, you go to each station, you check in. It still feels very luxury because the facility and all the tests are very nice and they seem very efficient. And then they also said they had the like in between VIP level, which is still, you're in your separate room.
Yeah,
but
it's still nice.
It's, a little bit more affordable if you don't want to go like the full step. But it still feels very VIP and you're separate from the rest of the people and everything still comes to you. And then they explained the highest level was the true, you're in a separate room, you have your own bathroom and everything. So I think it helps that they just understand that there are going to be people who value different levels of privacy and personal care.
And also, I mean, the accuracy, I mean, or how they try to minimize human errors. So, all the checkup center, they are saying they are reliable, right? But,
Of course.
yeah, but I also saw most of Korean checkup center they are doing the best. I thought before I saw Bumin. But once they adopt all the technology and then so that's why I told them if Bumin Hospital never done checkup business before, they couldn't design that way. So during the long meeting, he said, all the Bumin hospital have a checkup floor. So I realized they know how it works. And, like urine test and the blood tests, they designed to minimize human errors.
Oh, yeah, it was
That
so
impressive.
high-tech.
Yeah.
No, they constantly, they made sure to mention that
Yeah.
a couple of times is that they really wanted to make sure it was, anything that could be automated to be 100% accurate was. There was very little, manual input for doctors or nurses or anything like that.
And then, I thought other checkup center are doing right, but once I saw it, how easily they can change. I mean, it's a simple
Right.
idea, but seemed it was very impressive, and I feel like it's creative. Yeah.
You can tell
Yeah.
when you met the staff that they've dealt with high profile
For sure.
customers for a while. They know how to cater to that, to be discretionary and like elevate each step throughout, like using the facility.
Okay, so rather than going to SNU, but let's talk about Cham first because it's more
Yes.
comparable.
It is,
Like they study each other.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
You
so
can
yeah, they
tell.
both. I mean, it was very clear. So we toured Cham the day after Bumin, and they both show you the first thing is this is our VIP rooms.
Right.
These are our experience where you can stay in the room and the doctor comes to you. And the design of the facilities is a little different. I would say Bumin goes kind of more calm wellness, where Cham feels a little bit more kind of trendy. They have like more art around. It's like a little bit more colorful. It honestly feels a little bit more like a U.S. hospital. It felt a little like kind of shinier. Whereas Bumin had all the wood, they felt very like classical, I would say.
Oh yeah, there were some points of where you can consider it flashy, but
Yeah.
in a good way, because they had like hot pink artwork benches that were accessible.
Cham,
Yes,
yeah.
at Cham. And then they had a Yayoi Kusama sculpture at the entrance.
And yeah, I recognized that as soon as I came
Right
in.
away,
So
yeah.
it felt like very much, Americans also coming there would be very impressed by this facility as well. The thing about Cham, I think, that was just a little bit different compared to Bumin was Bumin just had so much more space because they were further out from Seoul city center. And because Cham is in a little bit more dense of an area, they had to use their space more efficiently. And so it leads to maybe some more narrow hallways or certain areas. But I didn't feel like anywhere that Cham was limited in any way. They definitely had the same capacity to handle those VIP customers and provide a VIP private experience.
So they also have like the top maybe 4 or 5 floors is for members. So you can pay for membership and then you access, it's like being part of a club.
Yeah.
Like a country club / like taking classes and spa. But also the whole building, like downstairs, they have this gorgeous, more gorgeousness in that building. It's like the grocery store and the 12 grocery by Shinsegae. And I texted Dongyu, I was like, I love Shinsegae.
Well, the 12, it's funny. It was, we talked about it with our coworkers after, and they explained it's like, oh, that's like the Erewhon of Korea.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
very funny. It's because that's what we were thinking walking around. I was like, oh,
Yes.
this reminds me so much of Erewhon in the U.S.
Yeah,
so it's
it was a nice setup.
Yeah, it's a very
downstairs.
nice place to get your checkup because they make it very clear. It's like, hey, you can do this and go about your day and resume your vacation.
Yeah. But I must say, honestly, the one thing, like my first impression was, well, Bumin as well is within a huge building that's like retail, commercial space, hospital, medical space. And Cham is too. And so is SNU that we learned yesterday. But at Cham, you walk in and it's just escalators. So it's like you're in a mall as soon as you walk in. And I felt like, it feels too public, like too open for me. But once you enter the front desk area, it's quiet. It's like out of the way, out of sight. But for me personally, I was like thinking it'd be great to just have a separate elevator access. And you said there is.
So first of all, the Cham's building is residential apartment. So combined with the commercial basement and first 3 or 4 floors. So each apartment, and then there are various people living there, and then so the stores and SSG Premium Mart is what they are familiar with, and then those people in there are basically upfront people. Many of them are living there, something like that. So, but from international customer perspective, it looks like crowded. Yeah, it's crowded. So last time Himedi's one of Himedi customers. I cannot tell his name, her name, because
No.
she is president's wife in one of one country.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
One country, okay.
Okay, yeah, fair.
So I thought, so basically, her van should go to the parking lot straight and then took the elevator. They should have done it. They should have done this way. But the van, the driver was new. We didn't arrange it. The Intercontinental arranged it.
Oh, okay, okay.
So next day we changed it. I mean, team
Right.
arranged a new driver, and the driver just dropped the group in front of the building, and then I saw this shouldn't be this shouldn't be this way. Yeah. So anyway, there was a parking lot, and then they can took the elevator, and then go straight to the town floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent a young customer. She was dealing with a lot of inflammation pretty recently, and she had a lot of questions. And I remember dealing with her and trying to help her answer as much as possible. But at the end, she was so happy that we did the research for her. She ended up going to Hanshin with her dad, and then also to Cham to do the food immunotherapy that you were interested in as well.
Yeah.
Right. So, I asked the Chaum team if if available, please introduce other programs to you, even if it's briefly. So, have you?
Yeah, very
so
briefly.
They talked
Yeah.
about that. They offer the stem cell as well, and they have dermatology care. And so that,
They have plastic surgery
plastic
there
surgery
as
as
well.
well. So I
Yeah.
think that was very insightful as well to know that you can go to Cham and do the checkup and then also do other services in the same location. I forgot, did they do dental care as well?
No, I asked.
No dental,
They,
okay,
They'll do the eye test, eye exam. That's part of the checkup.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that is a big benefit for especially American patients as well, just for efficiency while on vacation trying to make the most of it. If you can do multiple services at one stop, I think that is valuable. And I think Chang was saying it's a lot of their stuff is their own in-house products as well for the skincare too. So they offer like skincare products. So it was honestly felt like a whole kind of encompassing checkup and like beauty service station, and it was kind of each floor was designed for a different thing. So there was the checkup floor, and then above that there was
like the beauty
floor,
but also aesthetics too. They also have in another section on the floor for beauty, for massages and spa.
So let me introduce Cha Hospital Group briefly. So they have biotech company who do research in the stem cell or regenerative medicine area. And so they also produce stem cell based cosmetic products. So in Chaum, all the programs, medical programs, spa programs, so different CHA affiliated companies are running it. Yeah. So they also have CHA, University of Medicine. So the professor is teaching or practice in the university, and then see the patients in CHA hospitals, including CHA. So that's why the hospital group is so large. They have like 30, 40 clinics in Southeast Asia, and they have 2 hospitals in the United States, and then at least 10 hospitals in South Korea. So they can cover everything by themselves in Chang. So by themselves. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were saying, honestly, for me personally, if I had to choose, like the convenience of being in Cham, being so within accessible stores and just being in the city. So yeah, I wouldn't choose one over the other, but because Bumin is beautiful.
So after reviewing SNU Gangnam together, my ultimate question is, which 3 of them? Which checkup center do you recommend for your parents?
So
I know Gabe's answer.
yeah, I can go because
And I want to ask you too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
because
mean,
this is very a bit subjective, right?
Yeah.
So let's go on to SNU Gangnam first. I know you couldn't go. I mean, like literally, you couldn't. I mean, check room by room, but still, I shared my blog with you,
Oh yes, I
and
read
then
through
some
it.
pictures, and you know, luckily, it's very close to Himedi office. We could stop by it, yesterday. So, how did you? So just whatever you
Oh, honestly,
just
for
share it.
me,
Yeah.
well, SNU, I'm glad we did get to see just like the entrance space, and it's definitely it's got like lineage, heritage, I guess you could say, because the facility can feel more dated than like the modern renovated spaces, like directly to compare with like Bumin or Chaum, but you could feel it's like regal going in. You can tell it's a very highly respectful, like respected space, and people are more quiet and
They are respected. I mean, Koreans respect. I mean, their
Yeah.
like, expertise. Yeah. Yeah.
and what a view.
yeah. And I think it's, you know what, I hate to say it, I think it's partially because we are aware of their reputation.
Yeah.
I think if, you know, I was coming into this experience or these tours completely blind, I would not necessarily assume SNU to be the best or the most prestigious. But because, you know, we've been working with Himedi now for over a year, like I'm aware of the reputation and how Koreans view SNUH and how it's perceived as just the best because it is. Like almost is how I view it. It's, you know, it's been the best for this long, so it is, and it will continue to be that way. But I think for many Americans, that may not come across as clearly.
Right.
And you can tell them that. You can say, hey, this is viewed by all Koreans as, 1A, like this is the best you can go to. And I've been told that even, meeting some of my relatives out here talking about our hospital partners. And I always mention, Chom and then SNU, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, so you understand, you work with the top. And I'm like, yes, of course. But for many Americans, that's just not a major priority. I think they see the difference
Yeah.
between the top, whatever you can present them the top 10 clinics and they'll view them almost on the same level.
So our customer base is the main customers currently in 40s and in 30s, and then let's now you are in 60 and 70s, and then you're I mean if you meet your friends, you already talk about your health, and then SNU professors, I mean the final destination in Korea. If you have concerns about your health, and then those Asian people, I mean the politicians and business leaders in Asian country, they came to Korea to see them, and then they take care of. I'm sure they take care of the president.
Yeah.
So in 60s and 70s, and you don't want to see them. I mean, they are running the ultrasound for you, and then do endoscopy for you. And compared to AI, Bumin, what would you say?
Yeah, I think,
And it's not crazy expensive, right? Compared to Chaum and Bumin, it's
Yeah.
not that. It's probably more affordable.
Yeah,
But of
so-
course, it's 2 times higher than KMI or Hanshin, but still not that much.
I think, yeah, if coming from an older perspective, I guess. So, yeah, my dad's 65, and so I've got grandparents in the 80s and stuff like that. So,
But where would you send your parents?
I mean, so I think it depends. My parents, I think, would value kind of that privacy and that luxury experience a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I think they would be inclined to kind of go more of a Pullman route where they can ensure that they kind of have a more personal personal experience essentially and more tailored to them. And I think the big thing about Bumin is the same day results. So especially with my father, who had a kind of really negative experience in the US and trying to get a doctor to take a look at his results, that was that was a very very difficult situation where he had done an MRI with a company, and they were not medically licensed to do a consultation. So they gave him the results and said, hey, we're concerned about this. It could be cancer, but we can't confirm it. Go see your doctor. But then that process ended up taking, 2+ months to get it in front of a doctor. And that was, with some expedited help, because we have, doctors in our family who were able to help recommend and kind of get him in front of a specialist faster. But even then, it still took too long. And I think the ability to come to Korea and kind of have something like Bumin, where you could get the results in the same day and have it looked at by a doctor in the same day, it's just not even, I think, in the like concept or in the mind space of U.S. customers. It just isn't so far out of what the U.S. system is. And even in Korea, it seems like, Bumin is really pushing that edge of technology to kind of cut down that time of results to consultation with doctor. And I think so. Honestly, I think that would be the biggest selling point for my parents. On top of the, I think all the facilities relatively comparable. Like if you can, justify whatever, I want good care. Like ultimately, I think the care and quality of care is important. I think Cham and Bumin would probably be the most.
And among the two options, Bumin and Cham, which one do you recommend for your parents?
Like I said, I think because of just that whole experience with the delay in results and speaking with the doctor, I think that one day result, talk to the doctor, Bumin would be a very attractive offer, very attractive offer.
I'm like thinking about my parents. It would either be Bumin or SNUH, and I know it's so different. Like visually, it's different, but I think my parents would be, because they're immigrants, so they know Seoul National University. And they're like, oh, it's the best. You're sending me to the best doctors and like the professors who are actually teaching and also doing like the checkups or the actual like, I don't know, medical services, medical work. But I think they would really enjoy the experience at Bumin, just like the overall
And you
space.
also choose Bumin for your parents? If your parents have a chance to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would want to try Bumin first. I would want to.
You know why?
Really proud of.
Because I'm thinking about, even in my case, if I were in my 60s, I would want to go to Bumin.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be, if I were younger, like let's say now, I would go to Cham. Because I want to move around. I want to like be done with Cham and like go to the next thing, meet my friend and like. But then Bumin is like, I can take my time. I'm far out away from like the hubbub.
Yeah.
So you will see, because if I remember correctly, William's parents, one of parents or both of them graduated from Seoul National University, and then local Koreans, it's obvious, but even some Korean American, they think it's Hyodo.
Right.
And Hyodo, when you give a gift to your parents, and the brand name Seoul National University, Seoul Asam, and Samsung means Hyodo.
I see.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then, but we have partnership with SNU for long time. I mean, the main campus and health checkup centers, and Samsung Asan as well, and Cham is for years we worked with them together, but we are not seriously promote them in the United States yet. So I know the first impression, Bumin and Cham are better. It's easier. But what we are doing very well is we discover hidden gem. Many cases local Koreans like Tokyo or some clinics are very popular for Japanese, but it's underrated in the United States. So maybe there is a chance to for example, what so those Americans who went wellness retreat in Seoul, I don't think they choose SNU.
No.
Or let's
No.
say you see Dell Technology and Google Office on that building, and those they're executives who just came business trip to that building, and then there are like the top healthcare professional on 38th floor. I mean, it's less pricey than Bumin and Chom. Very accessible to it, so why not? So that's what I'm thinking. I might go wrong, but I think that's what I'm thinking now.
I think my parents would be happy that I'm like 효도ing
효도.
and giving
Gifting
yeah, it's
to
like
parents.
it's like being a good child and gifting your
Yeah.
parents or like giving back to them for what they've done
Giving
for
back to
you.
me,
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think they would appreciate if I were to like gift them Bumin, but if I gave them a choice, I feel like they would choose SNUH over yeah.
And I think, you know what, now that I think about it, maybe with my mom, so my mom's Korean and
'Cause your
she was
mom would
born in Seoul
recognize.
when she was, but she moved when she
I'm
was 4.
sure she will recognize it.
Yeah.
She would definitely, for sure knows SNU, and I think we've talked about it before. And so I mean, it depends. I think for her, because here's the thing: is she would also be very interested, I think, in the
And then
Bumin aesthetic.
they stayed at Joseon Palace last time. It's very close to
Yeah.
like on your feet like 7 minutes.
Yeah. And so that's also a big thing of, you know, makes the most sense maybe for a trip. So that's always a difficult conversation or a difficult choice to make of, oh, maybe I want this experience, but this place will be ultimately more convenient to go for, and there might be very little difference in the quality of care. And I think it really does matter maybe what you're going for. Like, I think if my mom or dad had a specific concern that they were really, hey, this is a major issue for me right now, and I really need to get this looked at, and it's, you know, maybe not life-threatening, but something that, you know, affects quality of life heavily, they would want maybe the best care and would go to SNU for that because they just want to be 100% sure, no doubts, and they trust that SNU is going
That's
to
a
give them that result.
Great point. You know, even if Himedi has done this business for years, it's not easy to point who the best specialist is at the individual level. But if you go to SNU checkup, the professors and those specialists working in the main campus, Seoul National University Hospital, they are colleagues with each other. They know who's the best. And then what they do is after the checkup, if they find abnormalities in 2 or 3 days, they help arrange an appointment with a specialist in the Seoul National University Hospital. And then, of course, your result reports electronically shared through internal system to the Seoul National Hospital. So it's easier to refer to the best specialist in Seoul. So maybe in 50s and 60s, old people, these businessmen, maybe they're like Seoul National University more. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And I hope you return to the United States and talk about it with your parents or your uncles or your aunt.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting because I do kind of talk with both generations of like my peers who are kind of in my 20s and talking about their perspective on what Himedi does and just Korean. As I learn more kind of about the Korean health system and just kind of talking about it with them versus like my parents, it's interesting because a lot of my friends who are in their 20s really have no concerns with their health and aren't really thinking about doing any checkups. But I talk to them more and more about it. And I think if they, you know, there was a reason they were coming to Korea already. I don't think they would outright plan a trip to Korea just for a checkup. But if they were coming already for vacation, I think many of them would be kind of more open to it nowadays, especially kind of as you pass your like mid-20s and kind of get into late 20s, you might start thinking about it a little bit more. And especially because you could frame it as more of a wellness experience rather than a hospital checkup. Because once again, you say hospital and you say, you know, health checkup to an American and instantly you're gonna have they have an idea of what that means, and it's not a very luxury or it's not an experience you would want to have on a vacation. But you know, I would totally enjoy going to Bumin on vacation for like
Yeah.
that would be, you know, very fun. They give you, you know, cafe, they give you coffee, you have some nice consultation room, all that, and it's a very different expectation.
I was surprised.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
if you could kind of show that and communicate that to kind of the younger tourists coming from America, that would be a much more attractive addition to their vacation. And so I think that's where something like SNUH maybe won't land as hard. It will not attract as many younger customers in their 30s maybe. And so I think that's really where the advantage of a facility like Bumin could be, is if you do, or Cham especially, if you do kind of want that like, oh, I want to feel like I'm doing something nice, doing something kind of luxury for myself, treating myself is something Americans like to use the term, or treat myself to something.
The great thing is SNU Gangnam is probably one of the most difficult to make a reservation. Because if you think about the popularity among Koreans, it's very hard to make a reservation. But Bumin is recently opened, so maybe more American and international patients can try it more easily.
Yeah. And, you know, I see that. I feel that they are kind of catering more to that international audience. I mean,
Right.
on top of all the artwork, it was funny. They had Andy Warhol in there, which was very surprising to me. But it was, you know, that and combined with the luxury facility and the same-day results, because I think that is very important to the international travelers who are maybe only
Yeah.
here for 10 days, 2 weeks. Like, to receive your results while you're still in the country instead of waiting till you get back home. So for us, we will get our results once we're back in America. And if there is any concerns, then we would do a video consultation with a
Right.
doctor, or take the results to our doctor in the States, one or the other.
Yeah,
But
our customers, they'll ask, you know, most of the time they're here only like 10 days to maybe 2 weeks-ish. And so we try to book them for their checkup the first half of their trip. But then they're always like, oh, but what if something comes out? Can I get the results faster and do consultation and maybe do a follow-up checkup? Sorry. Come back to Korea and we'll help you book that. But then if you can do that at Bumin and then they see any anomalies, they can schedule you to come back in like
Right.
another few days before you leave, maybe even.
I mean, I think that would truly be the major benefit of
Yeah.
Bumin. I was very, very surprised
Yeah.
and happily surprised to hear that was, you know, there seemed like their standard of care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you share the one-day result report, I mean, your parents, I'm sure,
I think
choose
they would consider
It's a very attractive offer.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of compete with that, given, you know, it's standard for most Korean hospitals to kind of give you the 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks results after. So, it's a really difficult deal to beat, honestly, especially for people who value time, like on vacation, and they want that efficiency.
Okay, so let's make a few more reels. So let's talk
Great.
about other medical service you enjoyed.
Yes.
in Korea. So I
Specialty.
remember everything, but I hope you remember everything.
I remember a lot.
So, just where do you begin? So, which one is most impressive to you?
So far?
So far of
Wait.
the other services. So, well,
Trying
Rebecca
to
hasn't.
remember.
We haven't done everything together. So
Yeah.
yesterday I went with you to the Kyo to do my dermatology, and so that was honestly, I think
I'm
so
going
far.
tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited to meet Dr. Park.
So far, that was honestly the most like enjoyable experience I think I've had with kind of the clinic or the boutique kind of you know, K beauty service that we've been doing, because we've done we did teeth whitening together a couple days ago with Minish, and then we did well, I went to accompany Will on an MRI and just kind of see that experience. I didn't get an MRI, but just followed and kind of
Oh, yeah.
shadowed him. And then other than that, I think we
did teeth whitening and then the cure as like kind of our priority post.
So,
checkup.
but you will. I will ask you to get the eye exam checkup.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
that's
And
today.
then, but we already visited Bright
Bright Eye
Clinic.
Clinic,
And
we've
then,
been
Oh
there,
my
yeah.
gosh.
even if you didn't get the
Beautiful.
LASIK, but still you see what's happening there,
Yeah.
right?
So we're gonna go this
Yeah.
afternoon with Will, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna go this
Yeah.
afternoon to join Will, who's getting LASIK,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that'll be a very
I'm gonna
insightful.
get the eye exam.
And yeah, so I'll probably get an eye exam as well. I mean, I have
Why not?
good vision, so
I
hopefully.
mean, we love the team. It was
Yeah.
amazing to see the team again, and they kept looking at us. Remember when they see me, they're like, "Oh, what are you doing in Korea?" And then they see Gabe, they're like, "Oh my God, Gabe!" They're just so excited. Gabe was like our mini celebrity
Oh my
there,
gosh.
right?
Could have been an influencer, joined the other people, but
I mean, I think it's easier to compare Korean clinics you experienced, Minish and Dogyeol or Bright Eye Clinic, to American clinic, I think, because
Yeah.
you know Minish obviously I can say number one in Korea.
Mhm.
Of course, there are great dental clinic in niche area, but overall the technology and even just I mean you cannot see their operation system. They are that's their product too.
Yeah.
And laminate and in-house 3D printing and cleaning. Their all equipment is like leading the market.
So
at
we
this
can-
moment.
Yeah, 14 floors. They have the whole
Yeah.
building.
I was gonna say we can start with Minish because we did
Yes.
that together,
Yeah.
and so that was an extremely insightful experience for me. So I was my first time doing any teeth whitening, and so Americans I think have very intensive teeth care relative to the rest of the world. There's a heavy emphasis on going to the orthodontist and getting your teeth straightened with the braces. Everyone does it, and everyone typically goes for a dental cleaning kind of once a year, every 2 years maybe. I mean, I think they recommend twice a year.
Oh, do
my
they?
my dentist recommends twice a year in the U.S. And so, Americans do take dental care very seriously. But
Right.
I think the technology in Korea is just where they really shine. I think both countries have a deep respect and understanding of how important tooth health is and dental care is throughout the whole life. But Korea, I think, or Minish particularly, has just so many years, it feels like, advanced on the American system, particularly when they were explaining their laminate system. That was a
Yeah.
real eye-opener for me because they had initially, I think they referred to it as veneers, which in the U.S. means, I think, means something very different than what they showed us, which is, I think of veneers and you think of celebrities who get veneers, and it's basically, you imagine they completely grind your tooth down to the root.
Yeah.
There's nothing left. And then they glue on the permanent tooth all around front to back. And it's a very invasive procedure. It's painful, I'm pretty sure. It's like not like the healing process afterwards is painful. And it's not very quick. I think, I'm not exactly sure on the time, but it's definitely not something done in a single day.
Right.
Which is,
But the laminates.
so that's what
you
they
do
showed
in
us
a
at
day.
Minish is the laminates was this whole, and we're probably not doing it the best justice, and looking at their website explains it very well, but they're so fast and they value the non-invasiveness and keeping the natural tooth structure. They emphasize that very heavily. They want to retain the natural tooth structure, so they only shave down. It's really the front enamel. They don't touch anything deeper than just the top layer of the tooth. And then all they do is glue on the front, essentially. And so you can do this was what blew me away, is they can do the shaving in 10 minutes, they said.
Yeah.
You do the shaving in 10 minutes. Well, they do the whole process in one day. Shaving in 10 minutes. They do...
You can go to Minish like at 10 a.m. and then leave Minish like 11 or 12 a.m. and then come back to Minish 4 p.m. and you're done.
and they'll glue the laminates on because they make them in-house,
done.
which unfortunately we weren't able to see the
Yeah.
machines where they make them. But it's so surprising that that's an option, I think, because typically in the U.S. they do a scan after or before
You
the
probably
shaving.
have to send your mold out to get it made. And then that takes a while to receive. And then you then need to book with your dentist again for like a later time when they're available. You can't do it. It'll be like a weeks long.
Weeks-long process, which, for many people it's not realistic. I think that was the main thing for me. It's, unless you're somebody who is like a, celebrity influencer and you can afford because you don't have to go to work or something for a week and you can
they've
take that
done
time
so
off.
many celebrities.
So that was
at
their whole
Minish.
thing.
마동석.
I love
Sure,
Ma Dong
she's
Seok. My husband
favorite.
loves Don Lee. He's
Yeah.
like, Don Lee movies.
Well, so that's the real benefit there. It's that it's you just go about your life. It's one day, and it's not very painful, and they just have a very efficient system. And I think that's speaks to all of the Korean clinics and the boutique spaces is they heavily value the efficiency and making sure everything can be basically done in a single visit. And so it's not that repeated process where I think dragged out process
We
of
had one
returning.
thing. We had one feedback.
Oh.
Some music. We need a little bit of music
Little bit of
in the
music during the
background, I
teeth
think,
whitening.
because you just hear the suction the whole time while you're waiting for the teeth whitening. I think that's something I can definitely share with Jess.
Yeah.
She was really nice and helpful, giving us a tour of the whole facility. Although we had to skip the labs because
Yeah.
it's like proprietary. So.
But it was, I think I was very impressed by how they just have the whole building too.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Wow.
So do you have family members who need to do implant?
Not that I
Maybe
know
my
of.
mom. My mom's already gotten a lot of dental work done. But it'd be great if I could bring her and have her just check.
I see the trend. So which medical treatments start getting popular, and then which comes follow, and then I see dental clinic. It started with whitening and cleaning, and then premium manual laminate. But implant is I see the potential to be very popular from my perspective. I don't know the future, but I heard. I don't know. I don't want to promote Korea's medical service by the price. I don't want it. But I heard implant it costs around 4,000, 5,000 in the States, just one teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they gave
that
the price, I think it was
sounds about right.
800,000 won per tooth.
Right.
Which is, I
But
mean,
that's just for the laminates, and I
That's
feel
just
like
for the
it would
laminate,
still
yeah.
be affordable even if it's an implant.
I mean, so I see there are big price gap between American and Korean in many areas, but implant is the biggest
yeah.
because it's less than 1K, I think.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
if they use the same like Straumann German brand or Koreans implant brands are also global, like Ostem or Ostem, and it's also very popular. But like 1/5, and then the reason why I believe it will get popular is if you, I mean, many people should get not just one implant, but 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If you got A's, I mean, how much they save? Think about it. So I think it's, and then like you already know you can get the 1-day laminate and finish, but the process gets more tight and then simpler even implanting. So I think it's coming.
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like I've been to Korea more often than my parents have. It's
Yeah.
been a while. So I always see my
The thing
family
is,
members here.
everyone
for them.
can get 충치. 뭐라 그러죠? 그
Oh, what is that
everyone-
in English? Chungchi?
어,
Root canal.
Oh,
no.
root canal.
Everyone
Is
can
it?
get it. Anyway,
yes.
yeah. And okay, so how about so would you compare Tokyo to any other like, aesthetic clinic in the
Well,
States?
So that's hard for me to do because
Think,
Oh,
you
okay,
can think about
okay,
like
it's
your
tough.
girlfriend's experience.
Oh, well, so no, she's never even. I don't know anyone who, especially my age, who really, at least maybe they don't talk about it as much, but they like really do dermatology clinics right now. Like, sure, I mean, most popular in the U.S. is to start doing Botox kind of at a younger age to kind of keep skin like tightness and like plumpness in certain areas. But I don't know.
Oh, I can tell you
Many people
a brief,
who
like,
I know.
comparison.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it feels like going to the dentist in the States. Like if you go to a dermatology clinic, it's a literal clinic. So,
I'm going there get rest.
right.
Yeah.
But I go and they're like, exactly, it's an examination of your skin. And let's see, even if I'm getting spa treatments or like microneedling or lasers, it feels clinical
Yeah.
most
Well,
of
I
the
guess,
time.
sorry, I'll
Yeah.
explain. I do go to a dermatologist in the US. So I have
Oh, yeah.
I have eczema.
But
so
for medical,
so
yeah,
for medical
reasons.
reasons, that's the difference. So I've never gone to, so let's say like an esthetician or
Yeah.
a beauty clinic necessarily in the US. But also because it's like stigma against men. Like men are not going to them in the
That's
US.
true.
It's not an
I mean,
option
even
really.
if they are, they're not saying
Or they're
like,
not talking about
telling
it for
everyone
sure.
they
So,
are.
but also it's because they're not really expecting men to come to them. I don't think they're, it's just not something that's expected to happen in the U.S. So, I think that's kind of the big difference. And so for me,
Koreans guys do go to the
Oh,
dermatologist.
yes, of
Yes.
course. And
The
so, I mean,
lasering.
well, so when we met, Dr. Park yesterday, she was more than happy to, talk through all my skin and, compare me. And, they give you your skin compared to the baseline.
Did you do the analysis?
Yeah, so I did the
Yeah,
3D
I
skin
want to-
analysis, and that was very insightful because I've never had my skin looked at like that before. And even though I've been to the dermatologist, they're looking at the parts of my skin where I'm affected by eczema, so not on my face. So it's not typically, I've never really looked at like a deep scan of my face skin, which is something that I think was important. And so they were able to give me insights. You have kind of more oily skin, your pore sizes are slightly larger, but then they were able, I mean, obviously since I'm in my 20s, they're like, okay, your tightness is okay and you don't have many
Yeah.
wrinkles. So that was
So
always good to hear.
Can you do the similar skin analysis in the United States?
I don't
I'm
think so.
unsure. I have never seen it advertised
Because
as popular.
so you already went through the skin analysis yesterday, and then because the device, it's not super expensive, but there is technology behind it. So think about, so if you go to Olive Young store, which is cosmetic store in South Korea, you can get skin analysis, but that analysis is to recommend cosmetic products like oil, whether you are oily or not, dry, something like that. But if you go to dermatologist clinic or plastic surgery in South Korea, that they can, I can speak in English, so maybe
Yeah, sure.
그
I've been doing that this week.
그 어디가 높고 낮은지를 다 알려주는 거죠. 또
So-
카메라가 예.
Oh, okay. So it's like looking at like the range of the highs and lows on your dermis from the
Yes.
analysis.
Oh, so that, they were showing it's like the heat map of your face and showing, they showed me like the gray view and they give you the different scans to kind of
Yeah.
show which parts of your skin are kind of like more inflamed, if there's any imbalance. And so it's very interesting actually because
So
go ahead.
simply, I mean, if you got A's, I mean, the skins maybe in the bottom is more likely thick because it. Right,
Oh,
yes.
it's saggy.
And then
Yeah.
so high and low is important.
I
and
see.
then how wrinkle, how
How deep?
deep
Yes.
and fine. I mean,
Yeah.
each line they can tell everything.
Wow.
So because that analysis should lead to which treatment
Yeah.
you
Yes.
need where.
I mean, they really talk about it was the three big ones where it's the lasonavial fold from here. They talk about bags under the eyes and then the crow's feet, basically.
You
And
don't have any crow's
well, so,
feet.
I mean, but that's
Okay.
what they highlighted as
I
like,
see.
okay, so these are, it's a green line. So it felt very nice. But they're like, okay, you're good, you're good, you're good. And
Okay.
eyebrow, they do forehead as well. But that was all, it felt nice to hear, honestly. But
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I would ever get anything like that done in the States necessarily.
I don't think there is a skin analysis like machine. I'm sure there may be somewhere. I want to add on, I know especially in New York, they're building a lot more beautified facilities that are for skincare and aesthetics that are kind of like what you would expect, let's say at like Bright Eye Clinic, that kind of a vibe. There are more like dermatology places that are opening like that for skincare.
Yeah.
But I must say it's probably a very big divide in pricing or because they're so focused on the aesthetics for the skin, but also aesthetics within the facility, people might feel intimidated, like immediately think, oh, they're just gonna like upcharge everything if I go in here.
Well, so that was, I think, something I wanted to mention about the Kyo, which was very nice, was I was a little bit nervous that I was going to go in and kind of be told,
Yeah.
hey, your skin is bad by Korean standards. It's like, oh,
Right.
you want to do these things because this is how it is in Korea. This is how everyone's skin, this is what
Right.
you expect it to look like. And so I didn't want to kind of go in and be told like, oh, let's do all of these, like, oh, go do Botox because like this is what people start doing, blah blah blah. But no, I mean, Dr. Park was very receptive to my, position as an American person coming here. This is my first time doing anything cosmetic really on my face at all. So she was very understanding that I didn't necessarily want anything to I don't even want to say it wasn't invasive, but just anything too large initially, or nothing too
Even like
drastic in a
abrasive
change.
on your face.
Yeah, so I didn't want anything necessarily drastic. I think my whole, and this is kind of, I think, the general American aesthetic is you kind of want to look effortlessly natural.
Right.
And so that's kind of the big difference maybe between Americans or how Americans view Koreans. I think a lot of Americans will view the kind of Korean skincare, while many people like it, they kind of might see it as too artificial looking, and that's not necessarily aligning with American aesthetics. But Dr. Park basically understood that. She understood that she's like, okay, you basically just kind of want to make sure your skin remains firm, you get rid of any like redness. You want to, I mean, I told her, it's like, I would love to have smoother, clearer skin. That's about it. And I don't need anything other than that. I don't need to do any like, I don't want any like enhancements essentially.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. I think a lot of Americans would assume that they come to Korean dermatology and they're going to kind of push skin enhancements or trying to do more. Whereas I personally, and most Americans, just kind of want to keep my skin the way it is, looking young. Like you just want to make your skin look a little younger, but keep it you.
Right.
Exactly. Everyone wants to look like themselves still, but just refreshed. Because when I mention something like, oh, I'm like curious about like the jowls or like under chin, and you suggest it because you weren't sure what to suggest right away, but you're like, if you want, you could still look into something more invasive. And immediately I was like, no, that's too scary. I'll just I'll just talk to Dr. Park and see what she would recommend for like lifting or lasers.
Right. So I mean, so so last clinic we can discuss is bright eye clinic. Okay, so I don't know who said you, but it must be one of you. So the wearing glass, American,
That was
they
me.
think it's part of me.
I was talking.
So to be myself, to be myself, they should wear the glasses.
Yeah, so-
But Koreans, not just Korean, Taiwanese, like LASIK is big. So Asians come to South Korea to get LASIK. It's big. Mongolia is big.
Oh.
Yeah, they come to South Korea to get LASIK. So they prefer to take it off and then be themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's an interesting thing. I was actually talking about it. So I got dinner last night with my cousin she's Korean and lives in Korea now, but she has a lot of experience. She lived in LA for a little bit when she was younger. So she understands kind of the American culture a little bit more. And so she wears reading glasses, and she kind of still had the belief where she's like, oh, I kind of like my reading glasses. I like having them. It feels like, oh, it's just part of my routine at this point. And so she understood that kind of perspective where Americans feel it even harder. I mean, so my younger brother also wears glasses, and he's 20 now. And I've told him, I'm like, oh, why don't you get LASIK? Our dad and mom both had LASIK as well. And I wonder why he doesn't want it. And he's just says, oh, I don't feel like I need it. I like,
You know, a lot of Korean people. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go
I
ahead,
don't know if you. they get vision correction and they wear their glasses. They just have non-prescription lenses.
See, I
it's for the style.
That's a little much, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, so for example, it was the friend I mentioned, Tongyo, that had this comment was someone I lived close by to in New York. And so when we had our 2 Bright Eye Clinic events in New York, I recommended, hey, come talk to the doctor, just see, what they have to say. If you're interested at all, no pressure, obviously, it's all free. And so he just had no interest in going. He was like, no, I would never want to get rid of my glasses. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then over this past Christmas in December, he and his family came to Korea for 2 weeks. And I said, you're here, just do the LASIK. You're here, you're 90% of the way. It takes a single day, and it's, you know, his parents were going to pay for it, so it's part of that. Like, it's not like he was making as financial reason he didn't want it. It was purely aesthetic. He said, you know, my glasses are part of my identity. I don't want my identity to change that drastically. But I think that's also just a part of American culture of people, you know, change is very difficult for a lot of people just in general. And then, you know, what I was relating it to was thinking about in high school, I changed where the part in my hair was. I used to do left parted hair, change it to middle part. And that was a huge decision for me to make. I genuinely felt like I was like, oh, I'm going to look so nerdy or geeky or whatever. But I mean, it literally takes 3 months for you to kind of get used to how you look, less like 2 months. After 2 months of me kind of changing my hairstyle, I was like, oh, this is how I look. This is me now. As opposed to now, if I see old pictures of myself, it's like, oh my gosh, I used to look like that. So I think it's very much just kind of a leap of faith almost for a lot of Americans to kind of do the LASIK surgery. And even though they feel like glasses are a part of their identity, and even I felt that when my dad got LASIK when I was like 11, I thought it was very strange to now see him without his glasses all the time. I thought he looked different. But now it's like I see him with glasses. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what you used to look like. So it's very much, I think, you know, it's not even a culture thing as much as getting outside your comfort zone and kind of being okay with change. And especially with the advancement in technology, with the Smile Pro LASIK and being able to recover basically in a single day, I think that's a much more attractive offer for people who are here on vacation and kind of don't want to be bogged down with like vision recovery during their trip. Because, you know, you hear LASIK in the US and you're immediately thinking is, okay, a week recovery where I'm wearing sunglasses and like can't go outside, can't do anything. And that's not a very attractive offer when you're on vacation. But, you know, if they're aware that it's actually, you know, a very quick and a fast process, if you're willing to kind of go the Smile Pro route, if you're eligible for the Smile Pro surgery, I think it could become a lot more popular.
I don't remember very correctly, but you get the laser for 20 seconds.
Oh, really?
It's very short.
Wow.
Yeah, very
Is
short.
that what Will's doing today? The Smile Pro? Okay.
If he's eligible.
If he's
He's
okay,
eligible.
got it.
So you know, it's very important. Let's forecast the future. American U.S. market is the most important market for Bright Eye Clinic, which is our valuable partner in multiple countries. So we have seen, you know, stem cell, for example, I mean, injection is not approved by FDA in the States. But American, we saw they try stem cell in the United States. It's growing and growing. Reassuring as well. And of course, Americans prefer to wear glasses because, I mean, the reason why Bright Eye Clinics think of the US market is the most potential and biggest market is it's growing fast. Americans coming to the Korean eye clinics. So do you think like K-pop or passion, do you think it can be bigger and bigger and meaningfully bigger in the United States?
I mean, then it all like the Korean culture influence, you mean? The influence of like,
LASIK.
oh, LASIK. Oh,
LASIK.
LASIK.
yeah. I mean, totally. I mean, so I
Yeah.
think LASIK is already becoming quite popular and has kind of been seen as a standard procedure for the last 20 or so years. I think
Yeah.
people tend to be a little bit conservative with, you know, operations on their eyes or anything affecting one of your senses. I think that's always a little scary, the prospect of maybe losing vision or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's like lack of education, really.
It's very much that,
because
no.
my
Yeah.
perception of, let's say, growing up in the States, you know of laser eye surgery. There's like only a few types. But I think a lot of people don't know the technology is so much more advanced now. And Bright Eye Clinic, for example, has shown us like all the awards that they've won for like types of machines that they've used for different types of vision correction surgery. But it's just for vision correction, like, but there's different types. I only thought there were like 2 types.
I
And then
also-
you would have to be like down. You know, you need rest time after getting it. And like, I can't take off that much time from work. And I think people, it's just limited to that. It's like in history and they don't know how
You know,
much has developed.
so you reminds me, many of our customers asking about safety, actually. Not just about Rashik, but for like sedation, for example. Uh, so for as a local Koreans, going to the clinics and get treatment is not a big deal. You can do it like if you have like 20 minutes for break while working at Himedi office. If I have 20 minutes, I just go there ENT clinic and get prescription.
Oh, yeah.
So everything. I mean, it's not. It feels like I'm going to a pharmacy store. Yeah. So and Rashik is like you see their awards
Oh my
like
gosh.
1
There's a
million
museum
and
of awards.
million. Think about we are 50 million South Koreans, and then like quite many clinics already conducted 1 million smile Rashik. Not just bright eye clinic, but there are more. So many people get already had it. So it's not a big deal. People just think of it it's just safe.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think to say I think people want to get vision correction, but they're limited to knowing the older style of the surgery. So they're fearful of just committing to it. So if people are aware of like what Bright Eye Clinic can do, go in, do a 20-minute surgery and not so much downtime, then I think if they're more aware of what's offered, then they'll definitely come and do it. They'll do the checkup here and then they'll do vision correction the next day. It'll be easier, more accessible, like less
Yeah.
intimidating.
So okay, so let's wrap up. My last question is: how did you find your overall, Korean trip? How was it? How do you feel it? Yeah, and one by one.
I guess I'll start.
Who go
I was-
first? Who go first?
I was trying to talk to my
Yeah.
girlfriend. I was like, oh, would you consider moving out here 2 months and just try it out?
We're trying to move everyone out here.
I'm so impressed. I really, I had very limited knowledge of what to expect. I don't think, I don't know many people that are like very in touch with Korean culture outside of Himedi. So it's kind of what I just hear from work. And that was kind of my expectations. But I think coming here and kind of seeing Seoul in person, and granted, I really like Korean food because being half Korean, so that's a major bias for me is I enjoy the ability to have all this Korean food and such abundance around me for such affordable prices. That's a
Yeah.
huge draw for me. But on top of that, I just think the city is so pleasant to be in. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's a very pleasant place to be. Seoul is not, even though it's, busy and kind of very lively city, I think coming from, being in a city myself, like it's so surprising how despite a very similar kind of density as New York, the amount of just kind of like the cleanliness, the efficiency of the city is very, very surprising and just something that you kind of almost don't really understand until you visit for a week and kind of live it.
I still remember vividly. Your first day. I was worried about.
Oh my gosh, our first day.
I was. I thought. I feel like I'm your uncle and your older brother, and then I thought I should help, especially Gabe, adapt to new environment. But day one, like 1.5 hour later, he does everything.
He didn't need anyone's help.
Well, I think this goes back to what I said is it took me about a half a day to understand and kind of feel confident that, this country is very accommodating to,
It doesn't
people
take half a day.
Yeah, it's less than half a day to realize, it's very accommodating to, and I say country, Seoul in particular, very accommodating
Yeah.
for English speakers. And just even if you are not, familiar with the language, I didn't feel shamed. Kind of like I think that's an issue for a lot of Americans or an expectation. It's like, I'm kind of ashamed that I'm here like speaking my foreign language to you and just kind of expecting you to know it. But you explained to me on the first day, it's like basically everyone under 30 or in their 30s in
Yes.
Korea will speak
They can
English
speak.
to a conversational, passable level. And I think that's kind of the importance, is knowing that you can get around and speak to people and not feel embarrassed about it. I think that's a very important discovery and kind of understanding for Americans to have who are planning to visit Seoul or thinking about it.
I think it was too short.
Right.
So we definitely crammed a lot of activities and team things, and we were meeting the team for the first time. But it was so productive and fun. And basically, we were the VIP guests of how you cater to our VIP customers when they come. And we got a taste of that. Like we literally lived it this week. And I think what you and Will are doing, like you cater to our customers so well that is also extended to the rest of our team. And I think that's why a lot of people come back. Like I think a lot of customers, like a lot of our customers have been word of mouth. And we do marketing efforts, of course. Like we want to get the word out, but then everyone's, even like your mom, is like, I had a great time. And then she's been introducing. And so I'm glad that we got to experience what our customers would normally experience.
Yeah. So it's actually funny you mentioned the word of mouth, because yesterday I ran in, I don't know if you met them, Tongyo, the other customer at Kyo was a Himedi customer.
Yesterday?
Yeah. So,
Oh.
because he saw me open my laptop when I opened like the
You're
Himedi
working on
Shopify
our
page,
stuff.
and he recognized the website. He goes, "Hey, do you work for Himedi?" And I go, "Oh yeah, we're here
cool.
visiting." And so he was explaining to me, he was like, "Yeah, so my friend had used you guys, and she knows that I travel a lot for work, and she knew I was coming to Korea, so she recommended me."
Tell me the name later.
I will.
after
So, but it was a very, very like kind of organic, but very rewarding kind of experience to have where like, okay, yeah, this is, these are real people that we're able to help and kind of better their experience and help them kind of get the most out of their Korea trip. And he was someone who honestly felt like he kind of came from a similar place as me, where he showed up and he was like, I knew almost nothing kind of about how the system works, how to navigate it, or even like what is expected or what is possible for someone like me to get done. And he basically fully entrusted Himedi. He said, I asked you guys, I would like a few of these things. I don't really know much about it, but he was very happy to just kind of have it be done for him, and and have us basically help plan that aspect of his trip out and just take it off of his mind essentially. And he could just do the things and not really worry about it, or do the services and not worry.
I think we've been so fortunate. We're getting a lot more customers, like inquiries and questions, and it's become overwhelming, but it's also been so rewarding because it's like, oh my gosh, people want to keep coming back and they have so many questions, but I want to, like, that's also like that growing pain right now where like I want to cater to them better, but there's a lot more questions coming in.
And I imagine each tourism cycle, we will see this trend happen again, where we kind of get these people who are like, oh yes, my friend did Himedi last year, and then came back and told all friend group about it. And so now this year we're coming back. For returning customers, I could see being very popular because that's me. I want to come back now. I said, I've got my first taste and I kind of understand it now. I would absolutely like to come back and do even more.
So that's why Jacob and Yevin joined. I mean, we should try. I mean, the repeated tasks. You should automate it.
Oh, repetitive.
Repetitive, and then try to more personally care about our customers. Because I mean, what I learned from our business is we are dealing with healthcare, and then we are dealing with travel, which means foreigners in other countries. We take care of foreigners in other countries. So it's, I mean, if we do wrong, it's really hurt our customers. Really hurt our customer. If we do right, I mean, we became like friends like immediately. I mean, in a very short moment. So that's why I mean, I guess you felt Seoul team members in Seoul. I mean, are busy. I mean,
Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
very
concierge
God.
team.
operational
Yes.
tasks. I mean, everything should begin on time in the morning, and then until the hospital close.
You know what it's like? You know those plate jugglers where they have like 10
The
the
spinning
poles, the
plates.
spinning plate
Yeah.
jugglers. I'll show you a picture. That's
It's a
what
very
the team
American
is like.
circus, American circus type of thing.
I got it.
But yeah, just juggling, and
Yeah, juggling
being
spinning
able
plates.
to multitask and kind of manage all these different communications. It's it's very impressive.
And that's why William couldn't be here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Well, he was greeting.
It would have been great to have him here
Yeah,
today.
Yeah,
But the team, they still do it with a smile.
yeah.
So or they're trying.
They
but
do. Yeah. I mean, there are
So
definitely.
they need to drink.
Yeah.
They smile the
Pushing.
most.
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be more intensive cases where customers will require more work, and we're always more than happy to do it, of course. But I think it's, nice that we're kind of moving towards a system where it seems like things are going to become more streamlined and we're scaling for more customers, which is great. And Jakob and Yebit
Yeah,
have helped.
that's
a ton.
one of the reason we started with health checkup, but I hesitate to extend to plastic surgery or general disease. Of course, if our customer need those general disease treatment or plastic surgery, we support them. But I understand how much responsibility you should take and how much care they need, and then I don't think we are fully ready for that. That is the big decision, and once we serve them properly, and if we want to serve them properly, we should be ready. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm really glad we had a great time, and I really
Oh,
glad
yeah,
to
thanks
see
to you and the
you want to
team.
come back.
Of course.
Of course.
And then
We're already talking about
Yeah.
it.
keep in mind, and if you come back to Korea, you have to appear here again.
Oh, of course.
And then so
We'll do
plan
a follow-up.
Yeah.
plan in advance properly. Keep it in mind.
Maybe we'll have
What you want to
leave
share,
the comments below on
Yes.
what you want us to experience and then follow back up on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, like I said, when I come back, I would love to do even more. Like, I think this first trip, and for most
Yeah.
Americans, I think I kind of represent that, first American trip very,
yeah.
very clearly. Whereas I wanted to see. I just wanted to see what it was all
Yeah, a lot
about,
of unknowns.
and just
Yeah.
understand and get more accustomed with the system. And even it's hard to say, because if I were planning this trip, like you said, like a month ago, there's no way I would believe that I would have like such a drastic, I think, change in perspective in even just 2 days after doing like one checkup service and one other like clinic service or anything. But totally, it's like, oh man, we only have 2 days left. Could I do one more service on Saturday or something like that?
I'm going
Yeah.
tomorrow. You know what I'm also going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go to the pharmacies and buy everything in your blog that you
Yeah.
posted.
No, and I think
It's one of the most popular
Popular.
blog,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it is. It's so popular.
Glass shopping and pharmacy skincare product. It's big.
Yeah.
And skin analysis.
Skin analysis. I really
analysis.
enjoyed the
It's
skin
big.
analysis. Yeah, and so that's the thing. It's like, especially for, I think, American men, it's such an interesting thing to kind of have your aesthetics talked about at all. It's not something that happens. To be able to consult with someone who understands it professionally is just a very insightful experience. And, truth be told, I was going into it, I was a little nervous. Like, I don't think anyone
At the cure?
Yeah, at the Kyo. I don't think, with Americans, it's not as natural to kind of so clearly just talk about appearance and, especially with a stranger like a doctor who I've never met before, to be as vulnerable and kind of talk about my opinion of myself, essentially, and be like, what would I like to have? And what would I, But in America, I'll say, like, first of all, these movements are kind of starting. I've seen kind of more online with, men in particular caring more about appearance and aesthetics and wanting to, care about self-care or like, do self-care at all. I think, and I was talking to it with it at Dr. Park, and she knows the stereotype, and it's there for a reason. It's that American men don't really do anything to their skin. It's the joke is just splash some water on your face. Like, that's the standard.
So what was impressive from the chief director at Bumin is he said he defined wellness by definition should be measurable. So that's why they used all the AI technology and electronic data. And if from my perspective, because maybe I'm living in near Gangnam, in Seoul. If Americans, when it comes to longevity, they think they want to look naturally, beautifully, confidently get A's. They want to be get A's naturally and beautifully. Then, from my perspective, it should be measurable. But when I listen to like YouTube, American YouTube, they talk about biohack or like their vitamin D level or like all the data about from blood test or
biohacking.
Biohacking.
Brian Johnson.
But in Korea, I mean, the beauty, aesthetic is measurable.
Yeah.
They are trying minis. I mean, they can 3D scan. They use it. And then use 3D printer,
Right?
like that.
Well, teeth, I think, is something that's a little bit more medical. But so this is why I was so impressed with the Kyul, is because Dr. Park very much understood the like Americans. It's all personal. It is your personal preference about what you look like, and you don't want to have someone tell you basically, this is what you should do. This is what you need to.
She used the report including so many data to understand what you want.
Yeah.
And
so that was very reassuring for me in that conversation. And that's why I was, I'm more than ready to go back to the queue whenever I can, because I felt very
even
understood.
More reddish.
More red.
More red, more treatments. But it's because she
Did
understands.
Will do the skin analysis too?
So he did it
make
as well.
Okay.
I didn't. It's because we were going at like separate times. So when I was doing my treatment, he was doing his consultation and his analysis. We ended up doing our So the needling I did in a separate room, but when they are prepping you kind of with I did the numbing gel and the cleaning and the face mask. So we were in a set like next door with a curtain between us. So
Did it hurt?
The needles a little bit. So I'll and they warned me. They said you can do the micro needling. It will pinch a little and it can be a little painful. But ultimately, I thought to myself, and it came down to, well, I'm here. Let's do it. Don't squander the opportunity. So, it was so relaxing, and like you said, it's not like a medical facility. It's more a spa, and it's all about making sure the customer is comfortable the whole time. And so, I did the deep cleaning before. They do like a calming face mask, and then they put numbing cream on, so you can't feel the first couple passes. And so kind of towards the end, because your face is sensitive because they've already done like 4 passes with the needles. So the last one, definitely you can feel.
Wow.
But it's...
How long did the whole appointment take?
A whole appointment took a while, about 2 hours.
Okay, I'm expecting.
Yeah. But that
Yours
was...
will be longer.
Longer.
Yeah.
Mine will be longer.
So,
I'm ready.
Yeah. But the actual, micro needle took about less than 10 minutes or something like that, 10 minutes or so. And so most of it is, the numbing cream is a 30-minute mask. And then afterwards, they do like a 15-minute cooling mask so that you can recover. And so a lot of it's the pre and the post care that they really take pride and are very professional with.
But the best customer review, she's going tomorrow.
Yeah.
So she feels very safe and confident.
No, I felt very well taken care of by Dr. Park.
I was confident after Dr. Park's podcast with you too. And I texted her separately. I was like, "Oh, you did such a great job." And she goes, "I did. I was nervous." I was like, "No, you're great."
I can't wait to see your next trip. Let's
Me too.
plan early and prepare properly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, we'll be back here with our follow-ups.
And
Looking-
episode
next-
2
Episode
will
2
be coming.
coming up
Yeah.
soon. Yeah,
with Will.
with Will,
Hopefully.
with Will for sure next time.
Maybe
Yeah.
we put more chairs and
Yeah,
Oh,
Take away.
yes.
yeah,
I
good,
know,
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
so
you.
And
much.
see you next trip.
Yes,
See you
thanks,
next
Himedi.
time.
Thank you, Donggyo.
Thank you.